It's fun to make original things in art class. There are so many interesting things you can do. There is such a wide variety of materials you can work with. Have you ever worked with crayons? Do you know that there are many different ways to use crayons? Let's look around and see what some of these boys and girls are doing with crayons. Jay has an original pencil sketch he brought from home. Now he is coloring it with crayons. It's a picture of his pet cat. Watch how he uses the crayon. Little short strokes to show how the cat's fur lies. That's one way to draw with crayons. But now let's see how else we can use crayons. Mary is making an attractive cover for the box in which she keeps her collection of buttons. This is her design for the cover, an all-over pattern of buttons. But see these unusual crayons, and the brush and water. Just what is Mary going to do with them? This looks like drawing with any other sort of crayon, doesn't it? But Mary is using a special kind of crayon that can be shaded with water. Notice how she holds the crayon. She can press fairly hard without breaking it. When she finishes coloring her design, Mary will be ready to use the water. But right now, let's see what the others are doing. Fred is lettering a poster for his scout troop. The heavy poster board provides a padded surface, so he can press hard with his crayon. But he must hold the crayon properly, supporting it with his thumb and fingers, or it may break. See what broad, strong lines Fred can make with these crayons. It's easy to do posters and lettering this way, isn't it? Now let's go over and see what Dolly is doing. This is a blouse she got for her birthday. She likes it. But don't you think it's rather plain? Can she use crayons to decorate the blouse? Let's see. She begins by putting cardboard inside the blouse, so she'll have a smooth surface for drawing. Then she fastens it down to her drawing board so the cloth won't wrinkle up on her. What sort of decoration will Dolly draw on her blouse? Here are some original designs she has developed in class. Which one do you like best? This is the one that Dolly chooses. Now a piece of paper with a hole cut out to work through, to protect the blouse from being soiled. And Dolly is ready to draw. See how carefully she begins. She wants the design just so. We'll see Dolly's blouse later when it's more nearly finished. Now, who else is drawing with crayons? Andy is. He's working pretty hard at it, isn't he? Careful, Andy, you'll rub right through the paper. Uh-oh. Andy is having his troubles. Another broken crayon. Well, let's leave Andy and go back to the others who are getting along better with their crayons. What do you think Jay's cat picture will look like by now? Here it is. The cat is finished. And look at the design of the rug. How does Jay get this effect? Let's watch. how he's blending two colors, leaving blank paper between his strokes with one color, and then filling in with strokes of a different color. Here we can see the separate colors. But when we step back and see the whole picture, the colors blend together. Sometimes Jay uses dots instead of lines to blend colors. Many separate dots of different colors close together. But they seem like just one color from a distance. So Jay is coming along well with his drawing. And how is Mary doing with the cover for her button box? She's getting ready to brush water over her painting crayons. Let's see what happens. See how the colors blend and smooth together, yet the strong lines still show through. This is a good way to blend color, isn't it? The blended colors look transparent, almost like watercolors. Mary's overall pattern is going to be very pretty. Fred's poster is nearly finished. Fred has been working hard on it, but he thinks it needs a little more color. Then it will really attract attention. Good posters do that. He decides to add a design at the bottom. First, a broad stroke with a crayon of one color. Then he changes to a crayon of another color and makes a neat stroke lapping over the first. These colors blend together too, don't they? And Fred's design is making his poster more attractive. Well, Fred is nearly finished. Let's see how Dolly is coming along with her blouse. Here it is. And it isn't a very plain blouse anymore, is it? In fact, the design seems almost too sharp and bright. Don't you think more delicate colors would look better? Why do you suppose Dolly drew it this way? Well, in a moment we'll find out. Meanwhile, look at poor Andy. He hasn't had much fun today, and you can see why. He pressed too hard and smeared his colors together. This is one way not to draw with crayon. Maybe next time Andy will try drawing a different way. But look, here's Dolly with her blouse. What does she want to do with it? What are her plans? She is going to finish her blouse in the home ec room, where she will press it to make the colors stay in. She puts paper under and over the blouse to keep the colors from running where they don't belong. For this job, the iron should be set at rayon, or the coolest temperature setting. Meanwhile, Jay has finished his drawing. Remember how he blended different colored strokes and dots in making the rug? And how he used short strokes to draw the cat's fur? Hasn't he made an interesting picture? Remember how Mary brushed water over her painting crayons to blend the colors? Don't you think the overall pattern is good for the cover of her button box? Remember how Fred used crayons in making his poster for the Boy Scout paper drive? How he drew bold, broad lines with hard, flat crayons? And how he made the design at the bottom? Don't you think his poster will attract attention? And here's Dolly wearing her blouse. Now that she has ironed it, the colors are softer. You see, some of the color came off on the paper when she ironed it. Don't you think the design makes the plain blouse more attractive? So now we know many different ways of using crayons to create beautiful things. Are there other ways? Why, yes. Look, here is an interesting way to use crayons in arts and crafts. And there are many other ways to use crayons in your original work. Why not try some of these ways in your art class or at your own home?